Okay, everybody, hello. Welcome to this Saturday afternoon energy therapy support session. We are today is the 21st of March, 2020. And today we're going to talk about how to clear anxiety and stress and support your immune system, right when a lot of people are having issues with COVID-19, the pandemic, and a lot of other issues going on. All right, so let's see. Okay, so we've got everybody muted. And we are recording, and I want to welcome all of you. And so now that we're recording and everybody's muted, let's go back to the presentation I have prepared for you, and then we will be doing a lot of tapping at the end. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so this is our topic for today. And oh my gosh, now I got to figure out how to go to the next page. Oh, yes. Oh my, let's see here. Next. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so why are we doing this? Why are we having a presentation? Well, a lot of people, we just had a little discussion, and a lot of people are already talking about how much stress and anxiety they're feeling, and that is a major cause of disease. When the body is in fight or flight mode, when you've got a lot of the stress hormones going through your body, and your major systems shut down in order to get ready to fight or flight, or flee. The normal detoxing processes can't work, your immune system is stifled, and that just presents a wonderful opportunity for any kind of virus or sickness to show up. So we all want to be more relaxed. We want the body to be able to process, and we want the immune system to be strong. So most of us are all secluded at home, hopefully. And so what I want to do is share with you a lot of awareness and tools to stay healthy at home. I mentioned to you, I just got out of my own hot tub because I knew that my lymph system was kind of stuck, and I really needed to get in there and get those jets to help me. And so that's what I just did for myself. I walked over an hour, over a mile yesterday, and over 2 miles the day before. And I did meet with other people, but we walked at a distance, so we didn't breathe in each other's space. We didn't touch. We could talk at that distance, but we didn't do anything else. Okay, so there are things that you can do while you're secluded at home. I know a lot of people are doing art, they're doing music, they're catching up on their sewing, but don't stress yourself. When I got news the other night that I indeed had been exposed like 10 days before, and the girl that had just flown in from New York City to this closed gathering, and we didn't know anybody from the outside was going to attend, or else I wouldn't have been there. When we found out that she had shown up positive for COVID-19, I was glad I could stay at home, but I also gave myself permission to be sleeping in as late in the morning as I am without beating up on myself. So I want to just remind you that self-talk is real important to your stress level too. So be nice to yourself, nurture yourself. I am halfway through a new book that hopefully will be out sometime next week. I will alert you to when it's coming out. It's on dealing with energy management for clearing stress and anxiety, and how to talk to yourself, how to work with your energy system, tools to use, and how to keep your immune system strong. So that'll be a lot more detail than I'll be able to share with you on today's call. So this is an opportunity to join with like-minded others to create the mastermind. You've heard me talk about this before, but when we create a mastermind and share our intentions, and we state our intentions clearly, and we do energy therapy together, or we meditate together, or we just share in an energetic and hold each other's intentions, that's very, very powerful. So that's part of why I'm doing this series, just because it is so potent, especially for all of you who are here live. So I really, it doesn't matter to me how many people are live on calls, because if I record them, I'm going to send the recording out to hundreds of people anyway. But it's the power that we all create together and the benefits that you all get with the mastermind. So, you know, our intentions here are to de-stress, clear anxiety, and stay healthy. Okay, so purpose is, I was overdue for doing an energy therapy support call. I'm going to do another call next week that's called Shine Your Light, and I hope you can join me. I've just decided that I will not be charging for that. It will be another free call. It'll have a lot of information, and we're going to do some discussion, and we're going to do a lot of sharing, and the mastermind is going to be super. And then I'll invite you to join my Facebook group, which is called Shine Your Light. And in the process of shining, we are the ones that are going to hold the energy for the rest of the planet. We're going to be the calm in the storm, and we need to keep ourselves calm too. So we want to, you know, have your at-home support, and we want you to keep your health and well-being very strong. And, you know, there are many things that you can do. I've noticed that, for example, Amazon Prime has loaded all kinds of movies there that they didn't have recently, so people can watch for free. Netflix has more than usual good feel-good movies on. So if you have those two things, that's really good. Be real careful about your energy levels when you're listening to anything about the virus, to any of the stats. Be real careful about your energy level whenever you're on Facebook or online. Things are going to bring you down. If you're in this group, you're probably empathetic. You're one of those highly sensitive people like me. And believe me, the days that I've hung out like a troll on Facebook, or I've read all these doctors' reports or all this scientific stuff, I have gotten really, really heavy, and my vibration has gone down, and I've felt really yucky. So we don't want that to happen. That's not our job. Our job is to hold the vibration high. Another way we need to do that is to support the microbiome. Our gut bugs and the microbes all over our body are keeping us healthy. And so we've got to watch what we feed them. We can't be eating a lot of sugar. That'll hurt your immune system, and that'll hurt your mood. You've got to know when your moods are going up or down, and if it's within, 12 hours after something that you eat that you've introduced that's different than usual, then maybe you need to back off on that. I've had people say they're having a hard time finding organic food in their supermarkets if they are going out. Try to find organic if you can. If you can find organic frozen or even organic canned, that is a really good thing too. But fresh is even better, and you really need to wash it. And I will include in my book some of the different products that I just ordered. I've ordered, you know, from all over the place, some really good things that will take care of you. And I'm not selling them. I'm supporting the people that are selling them. Be careful of your EMF load, your electromagnetic frequency load. Please, please, please turn off your routers and your modems at night. Do not sleep in a house where you've got zapping by EMFs, by Wi-Fi. Turn it off. Get all your devices out of your bedroom or wherever you sleep. Make sure that you are not zapping yourself, and especially if you're in a city where they have 5G loaded already, protect yourself. Go out and be in nature if you can, but make sure your devices, you're not hanging out on your devices. Don't touch your phone if you can help it. Get a stylus or get one of those pens that has the little a rubber thing on the end to move your pages and turn it on and off and that sort of thing. You don't want to be overloaded with EMFs because that kills your microbiome. Your microbiome is what creates your immune system, and you have to keep it healthy with what you eat and how you treat it with the electromagnetics, with the stress in your life. That's why we're going to do a whole lot of tapping in just a little bit, and you know, who you hang out with. Get out into nature. If you're in a warm climate, take your shoes off and do some earthing. The negative ions coming from the planet are very, very healing. If you just sit in a chair in your backyard or right outside your backyard and put your feet in the earth, I mean, really dig them down into the dirt. Don't touch, you know, concrete's not going to do you any good. But if you can get out there and do it, otherwise go out in the yard and hug a tree. You know, get the vibration directly from the earth. The earth is starting to heal now that we're all on seclusion and we're not polluting it as much. And the negative ions are the ones that are going to heal us. EMFs put out positive ions. The wrong foods and stress can, you know, load you up with positive ions. And I'm not going to go into the chemistry of this other than to say, be careful of the vibrations around your system, because you have to keep your vibrations high. And just because you're at home doesn't mean you may not be getting zapped by something. So get the most out of your earth vibrations. Okay, so we're talking about the emotional component as well as the immune system, and you know, whenever I see a client, I go first into their emotional stuff. Any traumas that they've experienced, any traumas that their mothers experienced, their ancestors, yada, yada, yada. So this is so important, and it's a consideration of most all functional medicine practitioners. So hopefully you already are working with a functional medicine practitioner. If not, look for one in your area, or work with one, you know, distance if you can. Okay, so there's a difference between the acute emotional stress and the chronic emotional stress. So acute is when it's happening like right now. And, you know, I had a little bit of the acute emotional stress when I got 2 emails saying that I'd been exposed to a woman that came up positive with COVID-19. And it's like, well, I know I didn't touch her, but I did talk to her for probably a good 10 minutes. So, you know what has acutely stressed you, and that's when your energy therapy tools and your tapping are so good to use right when you're in the moment of feeling the stress. Sometimes people, you know, get a diagnosis or a prognosis based on their condition. That can cause acute emotional stress. If you are feeling fever, if you're talking to your local health department like I've been talking to mine, if you're talking to your doctors because you've just had the flu or you've had pneumonia or you've had any of the symptoms or any kind of fever up and down, you know, anything that people tell you is going to cause potentially acute emotional stress. So clear it with the tools we're going to use in just a minute. Chemically induced acute emotional stress can happen, so be careful about using too much plastic. You're very sensitive now, and your immune system really has to stay on top of it. So don't be around chemicals, don't smoke, don't breathe nasty stuff unless you know that you're using like real, true, and I only use organic essential oils. Now, right now, I've got right in front of me, where I'm sitting between me and my camera, I have a diffuser of what's called thieves oil. And it's a combination of essential oils. Some people call it medieval blend, other things, but it's supposedly what the thieves during the plague used when they go into where somebody had died and they robbed them and they didn't want to get sick. So this is the good stuff. You want to stay away from other chemicals. Don't, if you're going to go to the and you know, fill up your gas tank with petroleum, don't breathe the fumes. Don't, if you're going to barbecue because you're home alone and you've got a barbecue and you're cooking something, don't overcook it. Don't breathe the smoke. And stay away from the electromagnetics, because that can cause acute emotional stress. Just being on Facebook very long can do that. Okay, the chronic is things that you've been dealing with for a while. Maybe you've had post-traumatic stress. Maybe the current situation is causing post-traumatic stress. The anxiety is just about this virus. Any kind of news is potentially going to add to this chronic stress. A lot of people have non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which can cause stress, and it can really hurt your microbiome. So if in your heart of hearts, you've been eating gluten, but you know your body doesn't really like it, you get constipated, or you get tired after a meal, or you know, whatever, you don't need to be tested. Just while you're supporting your immune system, try to go off of refined things, grains, dairy, those, and sugar. Those are all things that can give you depression and anxiety. It can heighten those symptoms, and they can really do a number on your microbiome. That can cause a lot of weakness and imbalance. Let's see, what else? If you're in a place where when it rains, I have an entryway into my office that is a little bit moldy, and so I've got a dehumidifier, I've got lots of things, but that can really hurt you. So make sure you've got an air filter if you're staying inside with the windows closed. You know, try to really take all the precautions you can imagine, because right now your immune systems are going to, if they haven't already been bothered by this virus, they may be in the future. So you want them to be as strong as possible. And sometimes you just have a genetic predisposition to a potential, you know, anxiety or health issues or sensitivities to certain things. All right, so our body knows how to treat itself, and it's got its own priority order. We've already talked before we came on the call about some of the anxieties and stresses and some of the things that are causing problems here, and I'm going to include them in the tapping sessions. Right now, I've heard that the bladder meridian and especially the lung meridians And the kidney meridians are real important ones. And so we're going to stress those to support any of the current issues going on. So I just want to, this slide basically just repeats what I just said in kind of an outline way. But for acute especially, this is when you're in the height of stress. Your vibration is down and you're feeling heavy. That's when you really need to use your energy therapy tools. And then the chronic, these are things you should be working on regularly anyway, but they're behind this acute. So the acute is going to sit on top of your chronic, and it's just going to take you out if you haven't been working on your chronic. So this is a good opportunity if you're in lock-in or if you're in personal isolation to do a lot of tapping every day. And remember, while you're doing your tapping, to drink lots and lots of water. You need to be drinking more and more water right now because you need to detox and you need your system to be continuing to let this, to cleanse. So water is really good for that. And when you're doing energy work, you really need to do more water use. Okay, let's see. Okay, so here's some of my recommendations. We're going to be doing some meridian-based tapping. We're going to be point holding. Deep breathing is a really good exercise to exercise your lungs, because the lungs are going to be affected if you start fighting the flu or pneumonia or the COVID virus. So the more you can deep breathe, and that could be by exercise. If you have a little trampoline, you could just really, turn on a really good movie and watch it while you're walking on your trampoline, and try to walk quickly and get your breath moving, or just do yoga and meditation and breathe there. Energy moving is really important. Moving the big muscles of your body, like your butt muscles, your leg muscles, the big muscles, swinging your arms if you're taking a walk. That's going to clear your lymph system, which is going to help your immune system. And then I'm going to talk about radiant circuits, which is something that Donna Eden talks about a lot. And we'll do a little bit of that because that's really, really fun, and it's really powerful, and it'll bring up your joy level too. Okay, so some of the immune and mood busters that help, take a lot of vitamin C every day and take a lot of vitamin D every day. These have been proven to be two of the best immune boosters for antivirus right now. And the doctors I've been following are saying take 3 to 5 grams. That's like 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day. That's more than most people take. I would say take as much C as your body will stand. And if you hit a point where you get a little bit of diarrhea, back off a tiny bit. If you have powdered vitamin C, it's better. Put it in juice or water. The D3, a lot of people say, oh, don't take too much D3. Well, that's not scientific. Nobody really suffers from vitamin D3 overgrowth. I've been regularly taking 10,000 IU a day. The doctors that have either been exposed or are working with people who are exposed are taking at least 20,000 IU a day. So don't feel bad about really amping up your D3. And you can order this stuff online. I've got a dispensary. If you need some advice on the good brands to order, I can send you a little script by email, where you can just order with, I think it's 10% off your first order, and it's delivered to you right away. And I only use really top level pharmaceutical grade things you're not going to find in health food stores necessarily. They're the ones that all of us doctors give out. So if you're interested, that's on annmerkel.com under health products, or under supplements. Rescue Remedy, if you do Bach flower essences, the Rescue Remedy blend of the flower essences, these are energetic essences. These are remedies. It's also called calming essence under some brands. That's real good if you find yourself getting real anxious. Make sure if you're going to take that, you don't put anything in your mouth like 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after, and squirt it on, put some drops under your tongue or put it in your water that you're drinking. I'd say 4 or 5 drops in a glass of water, and that should help to calm you down on a real subconscious level. I have a homeopathic called Net Flu Immune that you can order online. That's not for COVID-19. That's not going to fight that virus. But if you have flu symptoms that you think maybe from flu or something like that, your immune system just needs to be supported, this homeopathic blend is very good. I keep it with me always. I'm going to show you the silver that I use, and you can order it with $5 off online. It's wonderful. I've been drinking it like cocktails lately. And especially when I don't drink it with a meal or right after a meal because I'm digesting then. But this will kill malaria, Ebola, MRSA, and staph strep. It has been proven to be really, really good. There's another brand called CILVER that is good. It's not as good as this, but it has 100 parts per million, and the pH balanced silver that I recommend, and I'll show you in a minute, is less per million parts, but it is very, very effective, and it's really good for maintenance. The colloidal silver is also good. Don't use too much of it, but if that's all you have on hand, use it. People are suggesting olive leaf extract, bee propolis, and zinc spray as really good antivirals. Echinacea, golden seal, and oil of oregano. These are the golden seal and oil of oregano and silver are all natural antibiotics. The reason why I really like the silver is it doesn't kill the gut flora. It kills lots of other things, but it doesn't kill the gut flora. All right, so if you want to know more about the tapping and holding and all that kind of stuff that we're going to be doing in just a minute, you can go to on my website, annmerkel.com/free EFT stuff. If you want to know more about what I like to use, which is an added tapping point, which I call the heart center, you can go to this video of me, and it's on YouTube, to learn how to tap on the heart center. I'm going to show you how to do it in just a minute. And here's some research that I got from the energy psychology group. And by the way, I was going to be a presenter at their annual conference in May, and they've canceled the conference, but they're going to live stream it, and I just got a call and they invited me to be part of the live stream. So I'm excited about that, and so that will happen on the same dates, May, I think 14th through 17th, and it'll all be online, and the cost will be less, and you can do it from your own home and learn everything you ever wanted to know about energy therapies and energy medicine, and I will be sending you links on that in the future. But anyway, Dawson Church, who you may know from EFT Universe, he and his colleagues conducted a research study in 2012 where they found that one hour session of EFT reduced cortisol levels in patients by 24.9%. And at that time, that was a really huge drop. Now, they were starting to use MRI machines and really look at what happens in the body and where the spikes in the cortisol are and where the areas of the brain that are lighted up by stress, etc. are. So they're starting to really get into being able to measure this stuff scientifically. So just recently, Peter Stapleton, who's another scientist in this area, and colleagues at Bond University in Australia, have just released a replication study. And this differed from what Dawson did because they did group tapping. So they had the mastermind energy, and the protocols were really similar, but they found that the cortisol levels dropped 43% in 1 hour of group EFT treatment. So FYI, I just wanted to include that. All right, folks, are you ready to shift some energy? All right, I am. Okay, so I'm going to keep you all muted. Can you hear me? Put thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. And I don't want to hear you all right now. Okay, sorry. All right, so what I want to do first is show you the silver that I use. It's pH balance or structured silver, and you can get it online from if you go to my health products page on either arielagroup.com or annmerkel.com. It'll send you to a PDF, and it's got two links on the PDF. One is the science behind viruses, behind what this does, how it's electromagnetically connected to a water molecule, and it works on bladder infections. It's really great because it goes all the way through your system and kills whatever comes through. I squirt it up my nose at night, and that way it runs down the back of my throat, but I can breathe it into my lungs that way. So it's therapeutic, and if I'm breathing any bad stuff in, either the thieves oil that I'm breathing or the silver squirt is gonna take care of me. But the second link on the page about the silver will take you to the order page. And that will give you $5 off coupon code, and it'll be delivered to your house. Now, Karen, I'm not sure about you. They may provide an out of the United States code for you. I'm not sure if they sell out of the United States. They may, but I'm not sure. Okay, so you'll just have to check into that. Okay, so before some of you checked in with us, the ones that did get here early, we're talking about all the things that were stressing them out. So first, let's start with a traditional, let's get these sore points rubbed. This will get rid of, what we're doing is we're rubbing our upper chest where there are neurolymphatic points. And as we're doing that, we are letting go of, stuck lymph for one thing, but we're also letting go of any resistance to you clearing stuff, any predisposition to hold on to old stuff, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so if you feel a place that's a little sore, just massage it. And even if it's a little tender, just massage it a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna stand up hopefully. And the heart center tapping point is where we're gonna start. And you're gonna stick your index finger right in the middle of your upper chest. Then right about where your cleavage is, you put your middle finger, and then you spread your other fingers between your breasts, and you're gonna tap there. And what this will do is it's innervating your thymus gland at your index finger, which is kind of the seat of your immune system. It's also metaphysically, supposedly, where your soul is connected to your physical body, but it's also called your high heart chakra. Then your middle is, kind of your heart chakra. All your fingers are on your central meridian, which is a major meridian that connects to a lot of your other meridians. And I think that's all there is to it. But it's potent, and I use it a lot when I am working with old stuff, old suppressed memories, old, the chronic emotional stuff that we talked about that's underlaying and still there if you haven't already cleared it, that may exacerbate anything that is acute right now. If you watch the news and it just, oh my gosh, or you go on Facebook too long, the underlying stuff, which is already there, is going to take its toll. It's going to create some stress. But on top of that, you've got the acute stuff. So when you're tapping on the heart center, this will help to open up your subconscious to allow some of the old stuff to come to the surface and be cleared. Now, you may not even know what you're clearing, and it doesn't matter. But when you're tapping on meridians, your meridians are listening. They are balancing, and you are getting some benefit from it. Okay. So I'm going to share a number of things that people have asked for. First of all, with this crazy virus, it affects the lungs, right? So the lung meridian point in EFT are the base of the thumb fingernail. So what I like to do is just flip my index fingers over to the base of the thumbnail and just tap on my thumbnails. I'm a musician, I got weird fingers, so I hope all the rest of you can do that too. But, anytime you're just sitting around watching a nice movie or taking a walk, you could be stimulating your lung meridians and taking big, deep breaths. And one of the tests, they say, to see if you're maybe starting to show any symptoms, because a lot of people don't have fever if they've been exposed and they start with symptoms, but it's how long you can hold your breath. So they suggest you take a deep breath and see if you can hold it for like 10 or 12 seconds. So let's all do that while we're tapping on our lung meridians. Just take a big breath and hold for 10 seconds. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now slowly breathe out. And if you've done yoga or meditation, the best kind of breathing is stomach breathing, where you're not just getting it up here in the top of your lungs, but you're filling your diaphragm and you're really filling yourself up. So if you find that because a lot of us stop breathing when we're nervous or anxious, or we do the real surface, just upper lung breathing. So we really want to have good, deep breaths and exercise those lungs. So use your, even if you've got steps in your house, be careful, but try going up and down the steps. I chase my cats up and down the steps all day, but I also have one of those little, I think it cost me $32 at Walmart, one of those little step trampolines, and I just put it in front of the TV set when I'm watching movies, and it's great. Okay, or I'll do it when I'm on the phone, because I have a cordless phone upstairs. I've changed to corded phones in my office because the EMFs were horrible. And you got to watch cordless phones. They really emit a lot of garbage. So you don't want to be close to them, and you don't want to hold them when you're talking. You want to put them on speakerphone, put them across the room so you can hear and they can hear you, and then get on your trampoline or walk in place or dance or whatever while you're talking on the phone. But just don't have it close to you. All right, so raise your hand if you've had some stress about potentially being exposed recently to the virus. Okay, so, you can do a whole EFT thing about that, but if it's fear, the kidney points, So you go to the little hole, you go down about an inch and out about an inch. They call it the collarbone in EFT. It's not really the collarbone point. It's right under the collarbone points at the top of your lungs, of your ribs on both sides. And you can just tap there. So if you have any fear whatsoever, this is a great place to just be aware of your fear. Fear is not bad, although it is false evidence appearing real. So look at what you're afraid of. Look at the worst case scenario. Look at all the good things. My friend Eva Gregory used to play a game. It was the What If Up game. Have any of you ever heard of that? So, you know, a lot of us go, what if, you know, with the worst case scenario. Well, she said, let's shift that game. And let's say, what if, and have the option that we think of, it's up. Well, in my situation, I realized that once I knew I had been exposed and I had the potential to get this, I thought, well, I'm already into day 10 or 11 to see how strong my immune system is. So if I can go to day 14 or 15, I'm out of the, you know, I'm fine. And before that, if I did go out at all to, you know, to grab something, I had to get some cat food and I had to do something, and I was wearing gloves and I was looking at everybody, you know, with those, are you the carrier, da, 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 da. Well, it turns out I might have been the carrier. So I felt some relief. But look at what it is that is causing you to be fearful. Is it too much time on Facebook? You know, is it all the things that people are saying? Is it all the, quote, fake news coming from all directions? You don't know who to believe. And that's why I'm following all kinds of doctors in the background, of the people that have really worked with SARS and worked with viruses in the past, and they have some really good solutions. And that's what I want to share with you guys. Okay. So another thing that, you know, the kidney meridian is attached to the bladder meridian. And I do acupuncture in my office, and I'm part of an acupuncture group. And the acupuncture people said that there's a major bladder component to supporting yourself from this virus. Now, the bladder points are right on the beginnings of the eyebrows. So you can just tap on the beginnings of your eyebrows, not your third eye, but your eyebrows. And this is where you can get rid of impatience, agitation, frustration, kind of a feeling of being out of control. It's related to fear, but not just that, you know, I'm going to die. But it is an underlying kind of feeling of fear. So if you're starting to feel agitated, or you've been on Facebook, or you've been zapped by EMFs a little bit too long, this is a good opportunity for you to tap that away. Okay, I'm going to turn on a couple more lights because I want to make sure you're seeing where I'm tapping. Hang on, hang on. I turned them off earlier because I didn't want to zap myself with EMFs. So maybe that's a little bit more light. Makes me look shinier. Okay. All right, so this will be really good for having cabin fever too. If you're just getting stir crazy, you know, think about other people. You don't want to go out and get your own immune system compromised and be exposed, but you also don't want to expose others if you unknowingly have been exposed. So cabin fever, you know, some of us have to just live with it. I am lucky. I live up on top of a mountain. I have 3 acres around me of my own property. I just go out and walk in the woods and walk in my garden, and, you know, I'm really lucky. Not everybody lives in that situation. Karen, you have a beautiful yard. You can, you know, go out in that. But a lot of us, you know, Linda, you live in our area, so you know how you can find a place to go walk. So if you can escape and, you know, go to a natural area, that is wonderful. And otherwise, there's so many things that you can be doing with your time. There's so many creative things you can do. I'm going through piles and boxes and resorting and old sewing stuff, and I'm writing 3 books, so I keep saying I'm going to get my paints out and paint a mandala, but I'll probably be writing my books. But hey, you know, I got lots of time on my hand to do that, so that's great. Okay, so if you've got a compromised autoimmune system already, that is something that you really want to guard. I just got, and why don't we tap above and below our mouths right now? This is all about personal power. And we all have the power to be responsible during this time of a lot of fear going around and a lot of misinformation. And, you know, some people say, oh, it's not serious, it's going to end in 2 weeks. Some people say, oh, this could go on for 18 months. We don't know, and nobody really knows. It's how each country and each neighborhood and each individual handles this. So our job is, like I said before, to hold a high vibration, and we can do that. And if you've got an autoimmune system that is already compromised, and I do, I mean, I wasn't going to be stupid. I only went to that potluck where I was exposed because I thought, you know, I knew the people that were going to be there, and it was a very healthy community of people my age and older. And I thought, you know, this is our very nestled, remote community here in the mountains. Nobody's going to come from the outside. Well, they brought 2 young people that had just gotten off the plane at the Atlanta airport, one flying from New York City and one from Chicago O'Hare. What's wrong with that picture? That was not good for anybody involved. So that's, you know, what happened. But the autoimmune situation is such that maybe you're going to need to find a neighbor or a friend that you know is going out, like to the grocery or, you know, making calls outside to do errands. Maybe that person could do a little shopping if you're getting low on TP or something. And they could leave it on your front porch. You know, I've had a lot of deliveries of supplements and things from UPS and FedEx lately. And I leave them out on my front porch. And I don't bring the boxes inside. I open them outside. All the companies I've been ordering from have their own COVID-19 statements saying, you know, they are taking precautions and yada, yada, yada. So I've got to trust that they're doing the best they can. But UPS people are handling everything, and mail people are handling everything. So I don't put things real close to where I eat or where I drink. And I did just order and just received yesterday some spray that I can spray on anything that comes in from the outside, and I can spray it on my face, in my eyes, in my ears, on my hands, in my car door if I go out to protect me. So I'm not going anywhere until I know for sure I'm not a carrier and I'm not sick. But in the meantime, if you're stuck at home and you're in need of something, this is a time to cross that threshold and to learn how to ask for help and to build community with the people around us. You know, sometimes we don't know our neighbors, we don't like our neighbors, but this is a time when a lot of people are stepping up and saying, how can I help? And let's let them help. Okay. By tapping, and here we're tapping on the central meridian that goes from your groin area all the way up to inside your mouth, and the governing vessel meridian goes from inside your mouth, your upper palate, all the way down to your tailbone. And these go through all your major chakras, and they are all about personal power. You know, misuse, abuse, but also amping up your own personal power and rebalancing how you use your power. And right now, the best way for us to use our power is to be responsible, aware, and use the tools that we have. Okay, so, and that, that covered getting out for food. A friend of mine just texted me from one of my dearest friends from California, and her husband has a compromised immune system because he just had a really bad bout with cancer last year, and her older mother, probably in her 90s, she was dying in Germany. They went over and said, well, let's just take you to the United States. You can die with us. And she perked up, but she still is, she's old and she's brittle. So my friend Krista goes out and does the grocery shopping and does the errands. And I'm going to talk with her about how she can make sure she's not carrying anything back into the house. Because just because you don't go out, you got to make sure anybody coming in or bringing stuff in is not sharing things with you. The grieving for loss. Grief and loss are in the lung meridian. The lung and the large intestine, basically, because they're both metal meridians in 5-element acupuncture. So you've got to make sure you're eliminating regularly. And the best way to do that is to drink lots of water, to de-stress, to eat foods that your body likes, not to eat a lot of dairy, not to eat a lot of sugar, not to eat a lot of refined flours and baked goods or any of that kind of stuff. I know, staying home, we could be all baking and eating chocolate and, having a good old time. But we really need to protect our immune systems, and we need to protect our lungs and allow our colon to eliminate and to really break down all the foods. And the man-made fake foods, the ultra-refined foods, the Franken foods, they are not good for your body, and it's going to be harder for your gut microbiome to break them down. So not only do we need to, amp up and feed the good food, lots of vegetables. You can eat meat if you're not a vegetarian, and that's your choice. But you can eat lots and lots of vegetables. Be creative. Look for ways that you can amp up your cooking ability while you're home alone. Test some new things. And that way, as you're eliminating the toxins from your body, because that's one of the 5 major ways of eliminating is through the bowel, but another one is through the bladder. And if you're drinking a lot every day, you will be eliminating through your bladder. I think I've been getting up like 5 and 6 times a night lately because I've been drinking so much water, but I've got silver in my water and I want it to work. I would say if you can move your lymph system by exercise, walk around your house, walk around in circles, go outside and walk around your house. If you don't have a big yard, just walk around in circles. It says my internet connection is unstable. Well, that's a bummer. It better stick around. Anyway, so that is important. And we need to work on any grief or loss. Now, Margaret, you said that you had just lost your mother. And, a lot of us have older relatives that may be susceptible to COVID or may just be dying of old age. My father died last week, I told you. And my mother said, hey, if nobody's coming down here, and that's before they closed everything. But we all deal with these things, and we can do some tapping about that. But the sadness, a lot of times I'll use the heart center. And look at the other things. Do you resent that you couldn't go to be with somebody, you can tap on the gallbladder points at the end of the eyes. That's all about resentment. And that is like right where Cleopatra does her eyeliner. And I tap right on the eye socket ridge. So just tap there. And just think of anything that you might be upset about, that may that you have some resentment about. Sometimes when you've lost a dear person, your heart's just breaking. If you were a caretaker, for example, or you think about how they were going downhill with sickness or old age or something, you might want to tap under your eyes. And again, this is right under the iris and the pupil on the eye socket ridge. So it's like right there. But the under eye points are where, that's the stomach meridian, and that's where we hold other people's stuff. So if you watch somebody suffering, if you know somebody that's sick, if you're reading all the gloom and doom stuff on Facebook and all the suffering that's going on, you could take it in if you're sensitive and you don't want to carry it. So get rid of it by tapping your under eye point. All right. Okay, and I'm going to show you real quickly. I'm going to have to go back here and stand up, and you don't have to do this, but the radiant circuits are energy fields that are in infinities all around your body. So you can draw them up and down or sideways. You can do them like up and down your arm. Just draw little infinities. You can do it with one hand or both hands, and this really gets your energy going. So you can, do it with both hands and then shift directions, but it's all about infinities, and you can do it for your lower body and your upper body and over your head. So what you're doing is you're energizing your aura by drawing infinity signs all around yourself. And it is your aura that is going to support your strength of your immune system also. And you can do it kind of behind your back if you're really coordinated. I don't know if I am right now. But it really feels good, and it will do amazing things for your mood if you just get up and move the energy. So you can be walking in place or on your little, you can do this while you're walking if you're, in the woods like I am. I do tapping when I walk. I do this kind of stuff when I walk. The cross crawl when you walk is really good. That balance is your, you don't have to lift your legs. I'm just trying to get on the camera here. But that's when you swing the opposite arm with the opposite leg that's stepping forward. So that really coordinates your brain hemispheres and gives you more clarity of mind. So you can, get out of the fog of all the emotional stress. But the radiant circuits can be really magic, and do them in all different directions. Do them any time of day. I wouldn't do them right before you go to bed probably, because you want to relax, and these will get you all excited and amp up your energy field. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so I want to run you through a whole EFT cycle now. So let's start with the side of the hand, the karate chop point. And I like to just tap them together. It's just this area. This is small intestine. This is feeling lost and vulnerable. So, and you can repeat after me or not. I think there's power even if I can't hear you. But you can change the words to be your best words for you. So even though I'm feeling some stress and anxiety and overload from all the craziness, I deeply and completely accept myself. So even though it seems like if the whole world is going crazy and I'm stuck here and I feel helpless and there's a lot of fear out there and a lot of lack of information, a lack of support, I deeply and completely accept myself. And I have faith that everything is in divine order. So even though there's so much negativity and fear going around, there's so much struggle, there are still those of us that are holding the form. We're holding the vibration, and we're there for others energetically. Each one of us is holding the vibration for the planet, for the people, for the critters. And so that is something that is for us to do as a divine mission, and we can keep that in mind as we let go of any anxiety or depression or feelings of hopelessness or helplessness. So I'm going to jump to a point right now just to remind ourselves, this is the underarm point. It's just right in line with the breasts. And I like to do it monkey style this way, but you might need to, cross over. But basically, this is all about self-esteem and courage. And look at how far each one of you have come already. You're on this call. You're healthy enough to be participating here. You have the wherewithal. You have what it takes to be here and to be aware. And that's what this is all about. We've come this far. We can go the whole distance. And that's what our intention is. Okay, so now let's go to the eyebrow point. And if you've got any impatience or any agitation, frustration, just any feelings of, gosh, what am I going to do next? I really am lost here. Just tap here, let it go. Just let it go. Let it go and watch. Do you know that in the canals of Venice right now, the dolphins and swans are swimming again and the water's crystal clear? Hasn't been like that in decades. The earth is enjoying all of us staying home and not polluting as much. There are lots and lots of stories like that. So if we can focus on the good benefits of everybody taking a breather. Some people are very sick. Yes, I can't be a Pollyanna here. They're very sick people. But there are a lot of people that have been living an unhealthy, unaware life, and this is a wake-up call for everybody on many, many different levels. Okay, so maybe, there's part of us that really resents. So let's go to the ends of the eye points. Hey, let's focus on any resentment. We resent that this virus is changing our lives. We're resenting that we have to stay home, that we're in lockdown. But Korea is the country that got it right after China, and their statistics are better than anybody else because immediately they went into lockdown of anybody and major testing so that anybody that has it, and everybody's being tested regularly because they've got lots of test kits. They were prepared. They don't have the stress there because the sick people are all staying secluded. And their statistics are better than Italy, where they, allowed people to be free and to be according to their culture, which was, let's get together, let's have our morning latte, let's have our morning croissant, let's do our thing. Croissants are French, I'm sorry. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. And so we are going to have to make some changes, and maybe some of them are cultural changes, some of them are habits, some are things that we really enjoy doing. Well, we can't do them right now. So let's find other things that make our hearts smile. Okay, let's go to the under the eye point. And again, I do it right on the eye socket ridge, gently. You don't want to make more bags and wrinkles than you've already got. I'm talking to myself, of course. But basically, we don't want to take on other people's energy. If we've just been sitting by somebody that's sick, then that person was suffering. You don't need to carry their suffering to make them feel better. That doesn't help them at all. And it just pulls you down. So tap down here under your eyes and just let it go. And breathe it out. Breathe out the bad stuff. Breathe in pure white light, grace, however you want to think about it. Feel it completely filling your lungs and cleaning all the old debris that you've picked up, energetics from elsewhere. And breathe it out. Let it all go. And one more breath. Fill your lungs and stick your belly out and really fill yourself up. And feel it cleansing. And breathe out all the negativity, all the doubt, all the fear, everything, everybody else's stuff. So you can be clear about what you're really feeling and not what they're feeling, but what you're feeling and what you think about things. Okay, let's go back to these points above and below your mouth. I want you each to realize and to rejoice in the personal power that you have and how much personal power you have to control certain aspects, to be aware, to be careful, to not impact other people's health by, being selfish, to stay put until you know absolutely that there's no way you're a carrier, and to support other people, reach out to people that are stuck at home, that are home alone, call them, sit across from your phone, don't hold it, but call them. This is your opportunity to catch up with old friends you haven't talked to in ages. This is a wonderful opportunity to get off of internet and connect with people without having to be there. I remember in the dark night of the soul time, when I was in a community where I didn't know anybody. I spent my first Christmas and I was miserable. But I decided I was going to have a good time. And so I called all my friends and I called into all the parties that I knew were happening, while I had my own drink and my own favorite foods, and I was sitting in my own beautiful, area with my own Christmas tree. And I participated, and they passed the phone around and I got to talk to people, but I didn't have to move. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to stress, and you don't have to do that now. So nurture yourself, coddle yourself. I took my computer out on my deck and looked at the mountains while I was writing on my book the other day, and it was wonderful. Had the doors open and the breezes were blowing through. So create settings where you can do whatever you do normally, but make it so that it's really, really enjoyable for you, because you have the ability to do that. Okay, so let's get out of the Pollyanna talking and let's go back to that false evidence appearing real. And just, what is your biggest fear? Just think about it. Am I going to run out of stuff? Am I going to run out of food, of supplies, of You know, are all the systems going to turn loose? Am I going to lose all my stock in the stock market? You know, there's so many things we can all lose sleep over all night. But you know what? Does that help us? Does that keep us healthy and immune? So do we want to worry about all the things that could happen? Or do we want to say, well, what if I take care of myself? What if I create a healing environment in my home isolation instead of a, oh my gosh, this is a hellhole. I'm worried all the time and I can't sleep and I, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, be creative with cooking healthy food, watch healthy, happy things on TV or listen to your favorite music, call people you haven't talked to in ages, call the people that you love that aren't with you and just tell them you love them. They need to hear that. I wish I could have told my daddy again, one more time, how much I loved him. But I didn't. I had a plane ticket that had to get canceled. So I never made it down there. So we all have things like that, but we can plan for creating a reality that is positive. Okay, so let's include the heart center here while we're going down the body, and just remember to tap on this area whenever you know that you've had some chronic old stuff, when you've got some old memories, when you've got some stuff that you know might be underlying the local stuff, the acute stuff that's happening day to day. And just allow your body to let go of that stuff that could hurt your immune system, could cause you stress. And when you're doing this, you're doing it for your immune system. You're doing it for your gut bugs. You got to keep them healthy. And finally, under the arms, you have the courage. You have the wherewithal. You have the power. You have everything that you need. And if you don't, think creatively of who you can ask to support you and how they can best support you in a safe way for them and for you. You can create ways to do this. You can create systems. This may not be the only pandemic we all live through. So this is just practice, and we can learn from this experience. Okay, and finally, let's go to the top of the head. And let's feel gratitude. Grateful that there is some good information out there. And I'm going to go over some of the questions that some of you have asked here. If you've got questions, you can type them into the chat area, and I'll answer them before we end. But we have so much. I mean, it's springtime here in Georgia. I have so many flowers in my yard. They're beautiful, and the mountains are beautiful, and it was supposed to rain all day, but it's a sunny day right now. And you know, there are just so many things that we can be grateful for, and let's tap them all into the subconscious so that we can, you know, feel them on all levels. We can think about them, but when you tap, you're really getting your subconscious mind and your viscera involved, and that's where the action really happens. Okay, so I'm going to unmute you in a minute and get any feedback or any comments or any other things you all want to do, because we're about ending time. But Mary Kay asked, is there a guide that explains the meridian points and their emotional components? Well, if you go back to either of my websites, but you know, the easy one is AnnMerkel.com, Ann with an E, Merkel, MERKEL.com/free, FREE EFT stuff. There's a video of me. I point out all the meridian tapping points used in EFT, and then I go back and I say what organ they're related to and what emotion generally is 90% of the time. That's the emotion that's held in that meridian. That's a good question. Okay, and Inessa says she shared something there that you all can copy. It is meditation to release stress and fear, and it's on Facebook. And there are a lot of these going around. I know tapping people have done it, the Ortners, and some of the others have things like this. The spray, the sprays, I'm not going to get them for you right now upstairs, but I will include that in the email with the recording link. Thieves oil you can get in health food stores if you don't already have it. It might be listed as medieval blend. And any other questions? Okay, so I'm going to unmute all of you. So if you've got any questions, there you are. Everybody's unmuted. So anybody have a comment about how you feel? Unless you muted yourself, you're unmuted.
I feel real mellow.
Good. That's what you're supposed to feel, Jean. Okay. Hi, Harvey. You joined us late, but you'll get the recording, so you'll get all of it. So welcome to the call. Okay. Anybody else have any comments about the tapping sequence that we just did?
Very, very helpful. It's just nice to be in a community like this. Thank you, Anne, for doing this today.
Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to send you at least the recording for this and hopefully the video link. But in that, I also want to invite you to a webinar just like this that's going to happen next week. And it's on Saturday again, same time, 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And it, let's see, wait a minute, there we go. I've got too many things coming in on Facebook here. I'm trying to, go away. My internet doesn't like the fact that I got 52 pages open all at once. All right, let's close all of you guys and open something else here. All right, I'll try it this way. It's called Shine Your Light, and it's going to be looking at, we're going to play a game, and if you sign up and tell me you're going to be there, I'm going to include a PDF that's an exercise sheet. And then this is a workshop I was going to do locally in person, and Linda was going to come and some other people were going to come, but I've decided to do it online because nobody's going anywhere. And so basically what I want to do is help you to self-identify anything that's holding you back from being your full bright self. And so I have a Facebook group that's called Shine Your Light, and some of you are already members of that. But it's kind of an introduction to that, but it is, we're going to do the little game. And so you're going to identify any area of your life where you may be stifling or you may be allowing somebody else to keep you from shining your light. I'm trying to pull up my, come on. Well, Facebook is not happy. I've got too much energy going on here. Well, anyway, I will send you the link. But if you want to just check it out, I'm not sure that Facebook will let you go into it, but you can read more about it on my page, annemerkel.com/shine-your-light. That just is a description, and that's where you pay for the monthly subscription, which is less than $20. And we're going to be doing some online coaching and regular stuff like this involved with the Shine Your Light group. But next Saturday is going to be free, and I'll give you the link so that you can let me know if you're coming, and I'll get you all the information on that, okay? So any questions or comments or anything that you'd like to make about what we did? And I will provide you with some of the sprays and the sources of some of the immune boosting stuff. I'll share with you again the link to my supplement place where you can order supplements. Karen, were you going to say something?
Yes. I was listening to you about the vitamin D, and my understanding is we should be taking K2 or K3 with it. And yeah, just
Good.
to make that activated. Yeah.
So if you don't have a good vitamin D3 10,000 K with 10,000 IU with K, I've got one that I can recommend that you can order online.
Okay, but I noticed in the health store that if you have a bunch of vitamin D, but it doesn't have K with it, you can buy K separately.
Okay.
And I believe it's K3 we're supposed to have, not K2.
Okay.
I could look. You want me to go look?
I know the one I'm taking either has K2 or K3. I can't tell you that off the top of my head. I'm not looking at it.
I'll go look. I'll be back.
All right. So anybody else have any comments, questions?
Were we supposed to be registered somewhere
It's
in
K2.
order to have you?
Okay, Laura, you're talking? Is that you? No.
Yes, sorry. Were we supposed to be registered somewhere so you can send us all this information?
Yes. Good point. If you would go to my website, let's see, I gotta make sure it's that one. Energy.
I get the invitations, but I don't get the replays or anything.
You may be on my past client list. You may be on a Facebook list. You may be on a lot of different things. Okay, if you haven't signed up and you don't get the recordings and all the information, you can sign up. It's a free online group that does this kind of stuff at least once a month. I'm going to start trying to do it once a week. It's called, on my website, arielagroup.com. That's ARIELA group, group.com/energy-therapy-support. And, sometimes we'll coach people live on the call if you've really got an issue and you want to be on and I do a personal one-on-one coaching, but we've got the mastermind audience in the background. But otherwise, then you're on my list and you get everything that including all the recordings.
Would you repeat that, please? The
Ariella
group.
.com/energy-therapy-support.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Well, I want to thank all of you for being here, and you will hear from me. Now, if you didn't get an invite, if you saw this on Facebook, then I need you to email me with your information. And so for example, there were a couple people on the last live call, and I loved that you were there, but you weren't on any of my lists, so I couldn't get back to you. So make sure that you check in if you think you heard about it via Facebook or something. And you can email me at info@arielagroup.com. And just send me your stuff. Some of you obviously I've been working with for years. You're my buds. Some of you, though, I don't want anybody to slip through the cracks that doesn't need to. And I'd love to have all of you in the community. Okay, anybody else? Let's see, make sure I don't have. Oh, okay, here's Coach Colette is saying you can get thieves oil, and she's got a personal link there. So you could use that, or you can get them online. I buy through a company called Organics with an IX at the end, and they have organic oils. Now, I haven't bought the thieves oil directly from them, but I've mixed my own thieves at times. And the CBD oil, I've got a link on where you can buy CBD oil. Yes, I think CBD oil is very helpful for a lot of things. It's not an antiviral, but it is real good for rebalancing, and it helps with sleep, and it helps with pain management, and it helps to de-stress. So I would say if you're going to use one, make sure you're using an organic CBD oil. The unflavored ones are the ones I recommend because you don't know what is in. You know, some of the flavors taste great, but they may have GMO corn as a sweetener or something like that. So if you've got anything, you might want to buy the natural flavor and take that. Oh, okay. Coach Colette says her oils are Young Living Oils, and that's a reputable company. So if you want to order at that link, that little bit.ly/start-within-oils, that might be a really good source from Coach Colette. Thank you. So anybody else have anything else they'd like to share? Okay, well, thank you. I hope to have all of you on next week's call. If you don't get my regular emails, then please email me, info@arielagroup.com, and let me know how to get you on my list. Otherwise, sign up for that energy therapy support group online, arielagroup.com/energy-therapy-support, and then you will be receiving all the information. Okay, did you have a question? Area code 913? No. Okay, so go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep safe,
Thank you.
keep healthy, stay home, and have fun.
Thank you. All right.
Y'all have a good day.
Okay, thanks,
Take
Harvey.
care.
Have a good day, too. Everybody have a good day. And Margaret, do I have you on one of my lists?
Heading to the Chattahoochee to walk.
Oh,
I'm heading
okay.
to the Chattahoochee to walk.
Okay. Good. Well, enjoy the Chattahoochee, Jean.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on your email list, Anne.
Good. Okay, great. So why don't you email me and we'll set up the time and we can connect and do some brief stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Big hugs, Karen.
Huggy.
Big hugs, Harvey. Big hugs, everybody. And I'm going to turn off this recording right now because I'm running out of bandwidth. Maybe it already stopped. No. Okay, let's see. There we go.